Welcome to Dough Day, where I'm making 4 different recipes in the span of 30 minutes. So it's all about my prep up front, and I'm starting with a clean counter because food safety is the most important. But we're starting with our English muffins, and I have all of my recipes listed on my website for you guys. My biggest tip for an easy and quick dough day is always have something on the mixture and always be working on the next dough while that is mixing. So I currently have my English muffins on there, and this is a batch of my OG sourdough loaves, which we're going to make a couple rounds of. And while that's mixing, I just took off my English muffin dough, and that's going to go into a clear bowl, a quick stretch and fold. It only needs one of them to gather its shape, and that's now resting on the counter. And this is my sourdough loaves that we're putting in a clear container, and I'm whipping up my next round of them. And in between, I am cleaning that black bowl, which I am now making my focaccia recipe in, which I'm super excited to have some focaccia. It's actually for ourselves tonight for our pasta dinner, which is one of my favorite dough mixtures. So just keeping it nice and organized, nice and speedy. You truly just enter like this flow state. I love like games like Diner Dash where you're doing like multiple things at once, and sometimes when I'm baking I feel like that in the kitchen. I don't know if anyone else relates, but this is my focaccia dough. I keep it really at a high hydration, so that is now resting on the counter waiting for stretch and folds. And this is my new recipe that I'm making, and it is my pizza crust. So I'm hoping to sell pizza dough and par baked pizza crust. That way you guys can make it really easy for dinners. And so we're testing it out. We're gonna see how that works. And look at all that beautiful dough ready to bulk rise. I usually have it with the kitchen light on to help with the fermentation process to speed it up while I am home. And then the dreaded cleanup, but it's so satisfying having a clean kitchen, so it is very much worth it. And my newest addition to the kitchen is Tony Shark, our little robot that we have to clean up, and this helps so much just running it after I do all the flour because it is everywhere. And then it's time for rounds of stretch and folds for all of the dough. I am doing stretch and folds for my regular loaves, for my focaccia, and for the pizza crust. That helps with the dough structure and gluten development in all of my dough. And that one's the focaccia, which has a very high hydration to get all those airy bubbles. So I do multiple rounds of stretch and folds. Now it's about 4 or 5 hours later after that dough has undergone its bulk fermentation. This is my sourdough loaves. Sometimes this like pops and makes a really loud sound, but it did not this time. And I always tell you guys, like, push your fermentation. Like, if it's slightly over and slightly sticky, that is way better than being under fermented, because under fermented will not turn out nearly the way that you want it to be, where over fermented slightly is totally fine. And I always do a double roll method for my shaping. That's what's always worked for me and to give me a really good oven spring. And my loaves are about 900 to 950, so I am on the larger side. So also, if you guys are in the Georgia area, in Braselton, Buford, Flowery Branch, Gainesville, I have pickup locations at all of those, and even some door deliveries to a couple of those locations. So this is my focaccia for my husband and I. The biggest tip with focaccia is extra olive oil. This makes it nice and crispy. We were making a rosemary garlic for ourselves, which is my personal favorite. And next is the English muffins. Both the English muffins and that focaccia will have another little mini rise, I like to call it, where it's just gaining a little bit more shape after it has had its final shaping. And these will be baked up tonight. Again, with these English muffins, I do that double roll method that helps give it another good rise. All right, and next is the thing that I'm most excited about. That is the pizza dough and crust. I've always heard that you want to cold proof it, so that's what I'm doing. So we won't actually bake these until the next day, but I'm doing just a little bit of a shape on these. So if you guys have any recommendations, especially for the par baked crust, let me know. These will then cold proof in the fridge to enrich the flavor with my sourdough loaves as well. But I hope you guys enjoyed this dough day, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.